In the next 3 minutes, you're going to discover exactly why you're stuck. Not vague reasons, not psychological theory, the actual operating system problem that's running your life that's blocking every change that you're trying to make. And I'm going to give you 3 diagnostic questions that will reveal which one you're running. By the end of this video, you'll know something about yourself that you've never known before. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's when everything changes. Here's how it works. There are 3 childhood operating systems. I'm going to describe all 3 with brutal clarity. One of them is going to make you uncomfortable. That discomfort, that recognition. Your subconscious knows which program is running, even if you don't. So pay attention to which description makes you want to look away. That's your operating system. First is the authoritarian operating system. If this is yours, you can't say no without crushing guilt. You overfunction in every relationship. You carry everyone's problems like they're your responsibility. You check your email at 11 p.m. not because you have to, but because you feel anxious if you don't. You're the reliable one, the one who delivers, the one everyone depends on. And you're dying inside because you can't stop. Here's the diagnostic question. When you're relaxing, maybe on vacation with family, doing nothing productive, do you feel guilty? Like you're being lazy? Like you should be working? If yes, you're running the authoritarian OS. This system was installed when you learned my worth equals my performance. Love had conditions. You got approval when you achieved and withdrawal when you didn't. That 7-year-old became the highest performer in the room, and 40 years later, you still can't turn it off. The next code is permissive operating system, permissive OS. If this is yours, you resist structure, you resent authority, you believe the rules that apply to everyone else don't apply to you because you're different, you're special, you're more talented. When things don't work out, it's never your fault. The system was rigged. Other people didn't recognize your value. The circumstances were unfair. You attend unfinished projects because you lose interest once the initial excitement wears off. You're brilliant at starting things and terrible at finishing them. Here's the diagnostic question. When someone holds you accountable to questions you approach, do you feel insulted? Like they don't understand how talented you really are? If yes, you're running permissive OS. This system was installed when you learned I'm special without having to prove it. Your parents praised potential instead of achievement. They gave you approval without accountability. They treated you like a peer instead of someone who really needed guidance. That 7-year-old learned they deserve recognition just for existing. And 40 years later, you still believe success should come easily because you're talented enough. The next is inconsistent OS, the inconsistent operating system. If this is yours, you can't relax even when everything is objectively fine. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You see potential problems that haven't even happened yet. You swing between micromanaging and completely neglecting everything, between over-control and chaos. You don't trust that good things will last because in your experience, they never do. You prepare for disasters that never come. You scan for threats constantly. You're exhausted from hypervigilance. Here's the diagnostic question. When things are going well, do you find yourself thinking, this won't last? Or what's about to go wrong? If yes, you're running inconsistent OS. This system was installed when you learned the world is unpredictable and dangerous. Your parents alternated randomly between strict and lenient, loving and critical, present and absent. You never knew which version you were going to get. The 7-year-old learned to control what they could because nothing else was predictable. And 40 years later, you still can't trust. Now here's what you need to understand. These aren't personality types. This isn't who you are. These are survival programs installed by a child who was doing the best they could with the environment they were given. The authoritarian learned to perform to stay safe. The permissive learned that you were special to stay valued. The inconsistent learned you learned to control what you could because nothing else was controllable. And those strategies worked. They got you here. They made you successful. But the operating system designed by a 7-year-old trying to survive can't run the life of the 47-year-old trying to thrive. Impossible. You need an upgrade. That's the solution that Future Self Architecture offers. 4 phases, 1 outcome. You discover who you actually are underneath the programming. That's the diagnostic. The second one is the demolition. You learn the things that you need to change and a process to change them. The third phase is the daily code, where you develop your habit architecture that helps you determine the best way to approach your life, monthly, daily, weekly, annually. The fourth book is called The Download. And the fourth book actually uses your subconscious life and helps you introduce all of the changes that you want to make. And if you just watched this video and thought, holy crap, that's exactly me, about one of those operating systems, you already know that this is what you need, well, subscribe now so you're ready when the next video drops. And if you want to go deeper right now, I've got a free assessment that you can get from me, where you're going to need to send me an email. And here's the thing, you're sabotaging yourself right now. Why not take one step? There's a link in this description, because you can't upgrade what you can't see. But once you see it, once you understand that this identity was installed, that inherent, that it was chosen by a child trying to survive, not by an adult trying to thrive, everything changes. Take the assessment, subscribe to the channel, get ready for March 2026. Let's upgrade your operating system. If this video helped you and you saw something you hadn't seen before, well, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Because upgrading your operating system is a process, not an event. These videos will keep coming. You'll want to be here for them. And if you know someone who will benefit from these videos, a business partner, a colleague, a friend who's stuck in the knowing, doing gap, share this with them. Sometimes the best gift you can give someone is helping them see what they can't see alone. I hope you join me in the next one. So tune in.